Welcome everyone, welcome apprentices. This is Grandmaster Dr. Thor Templar, and I want to cover a very interesting area here for apprentices and those who get involved with the guild in general, and even on the outer. But we've noticed, of course, with all those people who do get involved with the actual apprentice program and stay with it, we've noticed that there's a very consistent, dramatic improvement in people's lives. And, this is what we talk about of connecting with the streams of power and empowerment, and doing this in general life, and then doing this specifically when it comes to guild apprenticeship programs. Because, people don't understand what real occultism is because they've never been exposed to it. They've read a bunch of silly little books, may have been involved with some silly little organizations that posture about as occultists, but really are they? And really, what does the organization do for you? And this goes with so many organizations. I mean, most organizations assist people not in a spiritual or cult manner, even if they pretend to be that, similar to the Masons. But what they really do is the Masons, because they're a club, because they're a fraternal organization, assist your life because of the connections you get, because of the actual value of being in a large group of people who are looking out for each other. Is there a spiritual component that assists you in that? Well, there is, but to a very low level, and it's not really emphasized as it is in a mystery school or an occult guild, where there is this huge spiritual energy connection to the stream of that organization that goes back hundreds and thousands of years, and maybe millions of years of the ultimate connections where all of this comes from, which is even off planet, so to speak, in other consciousness. So that's what a real occult organization does, just like the processes that were recently released to the public of using these sigils that get into your consciousness. Now, at first people find them interesting and unique, and it's all about... But soon after that, they don't quite understand the significance of this because they haven't grown an additional head or haven't grown 10 feet or whatever they expect. But what's happening is these internal changes that start changing your life. And this isn't a movie, and this isn't 1, 2, 3. You can't see your life radically change within short periods of time. But, if you look back of where you were when you first started with the guild and where you are today, we have yet to find a person who hasn't made dramatic improvements. Of course, those that stay with the guild, or those at the very least that are using guild technologies. And we keep in pretty good contact with everybody because, that's part of our mentoring system. Mentoring system not only helps the individual, giving this cradle-to-grave assistance, but it also allows us to have a good idea of, what happened to that person when they used our systems, and where are they today when compared to where they started. Now, here again, the guild is terribly unique of being able to do that because we take the time, we give a damn, we're not a business, we're here to help, and we help everybody as much as we can, whether they can afford it or not. And we do donate, and for apprentices to particularly know, we do send people free books, free PDFs of older materials, and even, as I said, we send them out free books from Amazon if they have great need, and there's a lot of people in great need, and we do this, and we spend the money to do that. And that's what we do, that's who we are. And you as an apprentice need to understand that this is part of what we're doing and part of where the resources of this organization goes. Now, like everything in life, it's up to that individual then to take this material, value it, and apply it to their life. And that is their choosing. And if they choose to disregard, as when we stopped these practices many years ago, because people really didn't have the need that asked for it, and secondly, then decided that things that they bought were more valuable. But if that's where they're going to, I guess that's their own personal choice, and that's up to them. Work with the toys or work with the tools of the master. If you're not quite get it, well, maybe you shouldn't get it. But this is how we work. So we're able to track these things. We're able to track particularly individuals who do want to communicate with us. We make it as easy as possible, and we try and help people as much as we can. We give a lot of free readings as well. We assist people on every possible way. And we've been able to track people in the Outer Guild, quite a bit of people in the last few years. And everyone that we've come in contact with and who uses the technology past a casual, read level. And of course, armchair generals are very common in life. I think grimoires are proof of that. There are several things within grimoires that we have produced over the years in our old classic texts that need answering, and nobody asks questions because they never use them. So they read them like mystery novels or comic books or whatever, and never do anything because they're either afraid or it's too much work. And of course, we're working on changing that with new simplistic systems to do spirit evocations, which can be done very easily and very effectively without doing all that ancient rigmarole nonsense. But that will come out in time as well. But what we've noticed is that there is a people's lives are being changed radically. From even extreme cases of a person who was even in a mental institution and was on, of course, on psychotic drugs because of some sort of incident, who is now off of all his drugs, has been released, and we've been counseling him since day one to get off of these drugs, to change their lives, to move into a particular area. And this person now have achieved a certificate in a real world trade. They are now part of the real world. They are using our technology to grow better and stronger every day. And I've been counseling them since day one. And here's another amazing success story. And it's important that you as apprentices know that. And we're going to talk about this to the general public to one degree or not. But, it's very important to toot your own horn as well, because if you don't do it, nobody does. And I think it's important that people understand, you hear this about people who help things out. Well, let us know who you donated to and how much money you donated to. I mean, all these things are very important. I'm researching a person now who I've mentioned in these things, a celebrity who claims to care so much. And we're going to have detailed audios on this particular person who does ghost hunting shows and so forth. And he claims to support animal help and is given a person who makes millions, gave $5,000 in a big check and took a photo opportunity to have this. Is that really helping? But in general, people should do that. A lot of people say, "Well, I don't want to tell people where I give my money to. It's not cool, man. It's not cool. No, it's braggadocio. It's not right." Well, my opinion is it's absolutely the opposite. Let's hear what happens. I mean, we talk about the Bill Gates Foundation and everything else with billions of dollars, and people still don't have pure water anywhere. The number one cause of death in particularly Africa and around the world is malaria. Yes, people, malaria, which almost brought the British Empire down in general because of the cost of fighting malaria. Where is the impact in that? I see billions going, and I see billions of non-results. So it's very important to talk about those things and have people understand that in the general public. But when it comes down to the guild, people need to do that. And, I look at people's lives and those who have been in the apprentice program for a while. And, of course, those that we work with in rituals. And, of course, most of our rituals with people last anywhere from 3 to 6 months, if not go on indefinitely. As I said, we have lifetime free support. So we're able to see where their lives are. I mean, people come to us with some extremely difficult problems, and these things don't disappear. They get better and better and better, and they do ultimately disappear over time. And we found that most of these things work out exactly the way they should. Now, some people, of course, want these predetermined results, meaning they see something the way they think it is best and want it to happen that way. That doesn't mean that's good for you. That doesn't mean that's the right way to things. It means that's I want it. Mommy, I want it. Feed me, feed me. Well, the point is that that's not how things work. So we've seen people who've had financial problems, who have, and these we see them working out exactly the way they should, which ultimately benefits that person dramatically. And of course, the most difficult areas is in the relationship areas. And we see these work out as well too. And of course, not in the way that that person wants to almost psychotically desire someone else. But what happens is that those people move on to the relationships, or relationships happen that is best for them, and they are not with destructive, rotten people who will destroy their lives. So in some ways, a blocking of a situation, or taking even a spark of a relationship and making sure that spark is well extinguished, pushed into the polar caps of frigidity so that it can't possibly ignite, so that you don't destroy your life, is an extremely positive result. But of course, people who see these relationships that don't manifest, they say, well, that didn't manifest. It didn't go the way I wanted. I wasn't able to cut my wrists open with this dull knife and bleed to death because I like to see stuff drip. So the whole idea is that there are a lot of factors working here. You're connected not only when you connect to the guild's stream of energy, and we do this through our sigils that connect you to the organization. And I don't know if people think that's some sort of egotistical thing or not, but the point is that power cannot come from within you. Nothing comes from within you. You're nothing more than a simple accumulator of energies. Very little comes in from that. I mean, even when people talk about these amazing and very proven chi, things that are achieved by these chi masters, where they can bend things, produce actually burns on your skin from their hands, anything that you see these amazing things to do with is shown in body empowerments don't come from you. When you do chi exercise, you accumulate cosmic energies in your body, and that's all your body is. You're nothing more than an accumulator, so understand that. It's not going to come from you. It's not going to come from your little brain, your little mind, your little consciousness, whoever you want to define those nebulous and ridiculous aspects of human understanding. It comes from outside source. You need to be connected to streams, and being an apprentice connects you dramatically to that. But not instantly again. We're not here to turn your light on the minute you step through the door here. You have to prove yourself. And those who hang around for months and years, the amount of empowerments dramatically go up. And you have to prove yourself. The streams of any energy or empowerment system don't open up just because, well, I want to connect to that stream. You do connect to that stream, and all of a sudden it happens. It doesn't work like that. If you want to be empowered with huge amounts of chi, you have to do chi exercises. And that by doing those chi exercises, you connect to that stream and you draw more and more and more potent energies to you. And it's the same thing with connecting to the guild and what's happening here. As you do things, as you assist, as you help, no matter what your job is and all those things you're doing, you are empowering yourself. And as such, dramatic improvements in your life happen. And we've seen this time and time again. So not only does it happen to just people on the outside who just connect with the training and are guided, but those who take the next step and who enter the actual guild, their lives dramatically change without a failure, just like our systems never fail. Hell, that's ridiculous. You can't say that. Everybody who's taken your course has been successful? Well, that sounds stupid to me. Well, that's because you're judging success by the fact that this person who wanted to increase his financial areas of his life didn't become Donald Trump. Didn't become Bill Gates. That's pretty fucked up. Your stuff don't work. I bought a lottery ticket today and it didn't win. I read your book. I used your manifestation symbols. What's up? Well, we talk about this and how to manifest, of course, because that's a ridiculous thing. That's just absurd to think that things work like that. And we certainly could do that. I would not give it to the public. I would do it myself. And I would have huge, massive foundations that really could go out and do things. Not like Bill Gates does that can't get anybody pure water or mosquito nets. I'd have them on every street corner. I would have them stacked up as high as the Empire State Building. Yet I don't see that anywhere. So the idea, that's not the type we're talking about. But everybody has. And how has everybody? Is that everybody has improved themselves to a level. Now that level is dependent upon dedication and natural abilities and to a certain amount of what you can access. If you're a stockbroker, you can access millions. If you're the average guy, you can't. So don't think you're going to get millions. But are things going to change? Are you going to be more prosperous? Can you get a better job? Can you increase your income? Will you get all sorts of breaks and luck and all the other things that come with being empowered? You're damn right you will, and I've never seen it fail. Never. To the ability of that particular person. But, a lot of people are silly enough to think that ain't good enough. Well, I'm afraid that's how life works. So you can work past that. Once you get a better job, you keep empowering yourself, you get it better. Become president of a company. Learn investment strategies. Learn how to make money. Learn where there is money. All this is about connecting to these particular streams of empowerments or initiations that keep empowering you in your particular area. And these are very important to understand of how this works. So we have this constant research of constant improvement with people, of constant assistance, and this is irrefutable. And those particularly in the apprentice program who then go to that level of assisting the greater good, the higher light, those who are trying to assist this world and make it a better place, for themselves, for their compatriots in the guild, and for society in general, benefit. And, people talk about, well, I don't believe in karma. Bad people still get away with things. Well, this is true, but that's not how karma works particularly either. But, we look at the world, and to this day, we've had one gangster madman try and take over the world after another, and not a single one has actually achieved anything. They've murdered millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people in the process and caused massive pain and destruction. But in the end, all these people were stopped. And in the end, all these negative, corrupt people who are running the world now, we're going to get it. They're going to get it, and they're going to get it in spades. And that doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing. On quite the contrary, you work damn hard to make sure they get it. But there are powers there, and people, when they connect to positivity, their lives dramatically improve. And a lot of this doesn't happen with other organizations because people connect with evil, rotten people who may give them minor empowerments while they're vampiring the hell out of them, taking every penny they can out of the pocket, and then leaving them as a hunk of garbage on the floor, to be swept away by time's reapers of failure. So the whole idea is that this happens. This happens every day, all the time, and I see this constantly. I see people who are horribly cursed, who are hearing voices, who have demons within them, who are being changed every day by the technology that the guild offers. No one else is doing it. No one else has the power. And those that connect to it and assist it will be taken care of. But this isn't a world of Hollywood Disney. You're not going to assist the powers of the light and tomorrow you're going to get a check for $1 million. I'm afraid it doesn't work like that. If it did, there would be no good, bad, no light and dark. Being good would have no value. Well, after all, I can be good today. This is how Christianity took over. Because I can kill 50 billion people tomorrow. And, all I gotta say is, Jesus is my savior, and I go right to heaven. Everything's okay. What a party! And that's exactly how ultimately Christianity was accepted so easily, because that's their doctrine. Well, of course, pagan religions were much more complicated than that, and you generally did pay, and there were realms for those who were cowards and weasels and evil. And things were very much undefined, I should say, as the gods themselves were, which makes a lot of sense, because this realm certainly is not some sort of cupcakey thing. So as you connect into these streams of empowerment, which are there in awesome aspects because they're already connected to the guild through hundreds and thousands of years of all of our connections and through the last 40 years of modern connections, but we, again, are just a vessel. We are just a way of people connecting to these things. And unfortunately seem to be the only ones at this particular time. I'm sure there is some out there, somewhere, that we have yet to find, but this is extremely a rare thing and an unfortunate fact. But again, this is often talked about in the common world, particularly the common world of spiritualism and even religion. And they talk about tithing. Now, you tithe, you give to an organization, you donate to them. Most of these organizations are talking about direct money donations, but, it can come in many different aspects. But tithing is giving freely. And by doing this, people who've tied to good organizations, no matter what commodity exchange that may be, get back, 10 times what they put in. And I see this amazing. I see these amazing changes from people that have invested very little money and time. And you look at the cost of everything else out there and the temporariness of it and the small amount of joy, interest, or whatever you get from it. But the payback is very small, if at all. But you get back what you put in 10 times. And we've seen this time and time again. And as you said, this isn't some nebulous thing where we're not sure, we think this guy. I'm tracking people for years now. And we've seen these massive changes. And these very radical people who are having extremely stress and have absolutely nowhere else to go. No one can help them. No one wants to do. They're all crazy maniacs who society can't handle them, just like the poor sick people whose diseases are now commonly treated, who in the past were all saying, you're crazy. You're crazy because you can't figure out what it is. There is no other outlet. There is nobody else helping these people. So the work that you do to assist the guild, particularly in the apprentice program, is critical to this help that you are doing to these people who are hopelessly lost in a sea of evil. But it doesn't just help these random people. It's helping you. You are connecting to these streams. It is empowering your life. It will improve your life. And as we've said, anyone who has stayed within the apprentice program, we've seen major changes in their lives, as well as those who stay on the outside. But the apprentice program people, we've seen more and more miracles happen within their lives over time. But as I said, it's earned. You're not going to come in for 2 months and, yeah, my life is perfect. I've won the lottery. I'm going to retire to Hawaii and live on a big estate. It doesn't happen quite like that, because that's not how the world works, and you need to understand that as outlined in What Can I Manifest. But your life does change, and it changes for the better, and you're connected to a very unique, special stream of empowerments that you can only achieve through this apprenticeship program. And of course, these continue to high levels as you become members. And again, the amount of dramatic change in someone's life it can be measured also to the level they have involvement in the guild. If they're guild members, their lives have changed 100% in the direction that they're going and that they want to go, and have manifested just about everything they want in life that is not in the comic book realm. Those on the outside take care of their important needs, their psychic empowerment, their release from the demonic claws that are into many of these people. And as that progresses further, as you get into membership of the guild, things radically change in your life on every single aspect. And people's lives, their finances, and everything else turn perfect. They have perfect relationships. They have all the money they need. All this happens from people who are memberships within the guild. It is not a question, it's a proven fact. But this isn't given to you, and that's not how the cosmos works. You have to be a participatory member. You have to be a member that does things. You have to be a member that if you have something that that the guild would be interested in, that you provide it to the guild. If you have a service, if you can do something, you do it. You just don't do what's required of you for your 20 minutes a day. You do more than that if need be. You start putting in more time and more help of the guild to do any possible thing that the guild means, because not only does this help the greater good and help the consciousness literally of the universe, but it all comes back to you as well. But don't think you're going to do one little task for the guild and, hey, where's my return? I helped with the ending that book. And I wanted a Rolls Royce, and where is it? Well, if you think something like that's going to happen, and regardless of the fact that if you think you're going to do some minor task and your life is going to change around, you're going to get a big reward, well, that's a simpleton comic book attitude. So, these comic book realities people have to get over, and, most people that get in the guild, not most people, all the people in the guild, don't understand that and don't live in these comic book realities. Are their lives better? Do they have better cars? Do they have better houses? Do they have better income? Do they have better relationships? You're damn right they do. 100% of them do. Everyone does. Their lives are dramatically better. Those that drop out, of course they continue that problem. They continue to struggle. And they continue to struggle time and time again because they have not, or are thrown out because they have not met the challenge. And that means that they don't deserve to be connected to streams of empowerment, because you don't empower people who are negative, non-productive, and even possibly highly corrupt and evil. It's a filter. But even with all these people, no matter their level of just plain incompetency or non-connecting with society, to the very highly corrupt people, still can access the information the guild offers and still get guidance, and their lives are dramatically changed. Maybe even they change their evil ways. Who knows? They certainly are given the opportunity, and the big old K, and that don't stand for Kmart, stands for karma. You're going to come and get you. I'm going to get you, boy. I'm going to beat you, I'm going to hit you, it's going to throw you into the curb, and give you exactly what you deserve when you don't follow the correct path. It's happening. And it may not happen in this life, but it's going to happen. This is an endless cycle of reincarnation. And if you think that this is just you die and you come back again and start over from the nice little step you were at, don't work like that. You're going to come back and be put with numerous enslavements and problems and pains in your life if you do bad now. Okay. Now, yeah, and everybody just wants to laugh at that because they don't want to believe in it. Just like they want to believe there are certain hell realms of the things. Well, they don't want to believe all that stuff. Well, just because you don't want to believe it doesn't make it true. I don't believe it, it ain't real. Well, that's your opinion. You don't have to believe in fire. And you can believe it like the positive thinking people. Yeah, believe it 100%. Nothing happened to you. Well, there's been many cases of that, very religious people, and they have burned to a crisp as they've entered the fire and been consumed in a very painful and naughty way. No, you don't have to believe it. It's just a reality, and you're in that reality. People say that with magic. Well, you have to believe in it for it to work. No. Some of you don't have to believe it. It's a power, it's an energy out there, and you will be affected by it regardless of whether you believe it or not. So, it's very important that everyone understands that. And for those in the apprentice program in particular, you really need to take note of your life, of when you start and where you are today, if you're still in that program, and see how your life has changed. And if you're honest with yourself, you're going to see that there are major changes there. Your life is a lot better. Things are going better for you. Opportunities have opened. And that's what, life is really about, a whole bunch of opportunities. And I don't know who said it, but there is a famous quote that one of the greatest burdens in life is an opportunity. And I think there's a great wisdom in that. So opportunities will come to you. Things aren't handed to you. You don't grow 6 feet in a few months. You don't have $1 million deposit in your bank. But everything gets better. None of those things are really positive for you. And a lot of money causes a lot of problems. Everybody wants it. Causes complete decadence. Lots of money doesn't solve your problems. Neither does poverty. As usual, it's the golden mean. As the ancient Greeks said, that's the perfect level of doing everything. And this is what you seek in the occult science path, is the golden mean. So, it's all there. And this principle is not new or unusual. As I said, it's often stated in the tithing principle. You give to good things, you get good things back. You create more and more good energy. That good energy surrounds you, becomes part of your manifesting fields, and good things happen for you. Pretty much without fail. I don't know too many other systems or anything in life that works to the way that the occult sciences work for things. Everybody has improved their life to one degree or another. And it doesn't matter whether it's simple little things or big things. It has improved your life. How many things have improved your life? And indefinitely improved your life and can build. There's very few things in your life. You can look at personal things and they help you. Well, you get a good coat and keeps you warm in the winter. Serves its purpose. It doesn't get any better. It decays. It doesn't get you to higher levels of getting you better coats or figuring out how to stay warmer. It does its job. And to a certain degree, you may get bigger, you may get smaller, so it doesn't quite still fit you. Well, that's not what it is with the occult sciences. The occult sciences fit you for the rest of your life perfectly. Like a finely tailored suit. All because you get connected to the streams of empowerment, which is the key, and participating on higher levels with those streams. So with that, there is no reality until the occult scientist creates it. Question everything. Believe nothing. And let the guild be your guide.